Okay, so good morning, everyone. So let's start with the assignment. Okay, let's start with the answer, yeah, for the assignment. At this one, start with the first question, yeah. The first question is about the proving, yeah. That is the wait, where is that? The first one is about how to prove the square. Okay, so okay, let me record this screen. I can record screen using QuickTime. Okay, new screen recording. Okay, so yeah, the equation is, let me check. I will start with the sum of the first of n terms, yeah. So Sn is, yeah, prove that the equation, yeah. Equation 1, assignment. Prove that uh, the square, right? Not the, yeah, the sum of 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square plus 4 square and so on until n square equal to n plus 1. Okay, n plus 1 to n plus 1 over 6. Okay, yeah, this is the equation. And use the hint, yeah. Use the collapsing sum sigma, that is I from 1 until infinity, until k, yeah. It's I plus 1 square minus I square or I square, yeah. Okay, sorry, cubic, yeah. That is what? 3i square plus 3i plus 1, yes. Because this one start from 0, yeah. Right? 0 or 1? 1, okay. Until this one 3i square plus 3i plus 1. What we have at first is this one, sigma I plus 1 cubic 1 until n minus I cubic, okay, equal to n plus 1 cubic, right, minus 1 cubic 1, right? So this one is equal to this one, yeah. So from the left hand side we get 3 sigma I square plus 3 sigma. Okay, I will okay, this one already become I, and this one become, okay, on the right hand side you get, okay, so this one can be simplified into the following: plus 3 n plus 1 over 2 right? Plus n, right? Which one? Oh, this is one, yes. Okay, and this one become, yeah, this one n cubic plus 3n square plus 3n plus 1 minus 1 cancel. Okay, now we simplify this. Okay, simplify. So we have 3n, yeah, 3 sigma I1 until n I square equal n cubic plus 3n square plus 3n minus n, ya, minus n minus again 3 over 2 n plus 1. Okay, and then we want to get here. Okay, we want to get there. So actually the hint is not this, yeah. The hint is like this. The hint is like this. Then I will revise. This one equal to n plus 1 cubic minus 1 cubic, yeah. So that's the hint. Okay, next you can cancel this 2n, yeah. This is 2n, and then simplify n cubic plus 3n square plus 2n minus 3 over 2n square minus 3 over 2n. So 3n square minus 3 over 2n square, what is that? So I can write this as n cubic plus, okay, I will write like this, 3 minus 3 over 2 n square, and then plus 2 minus 3 over 2 n, right? So what is 3 minus 3 over 2? 6 over 2, yeah. 3 over 2 can be written as 6 over 2 minus 3 over 2 n square plus 4 over 2 minus 3 over 2. Okay, so 6 minus 3 is 3, right? So n cubic plus 3 over 2 n square plus 1 over 2 n. But don't forget there is 3 here. Yeah. So now you can simplify. This one become 2n cubic plus 3n square plus 1 plus n over 2. Okay. Then you can simplify this. What is that? I can erase this. Can I erase this? Okay, so both sides divide by 3. Yeah, 3 move here. So sigma I square I1 until n is 1 over 3. I mean 2n cubic plus 3n square plus n over 2. So you can simplify this. N 2n square plus 3n plus 1. 6. Factorize this. 2n n. So multiply 2, addition 3. Find two number that multiply 2, but you add equal 3. That is 1 times 2, 2, yeah. So the number is 1 and 2, yeah, because multiplication 2, addition is 1. So this is plus 1 plus 1 divided by 6. So it's proof the formula. Any question? Yeah, and then it will be used in calculus 2, yeah, to calculate the integral of x square. You already arrived to that part? Yes? Using the Riemann sum, taking the limit n goes to infinity. Yeah, that's a lot of calculation, yeah. Question? That's question 1, yeah. Yeah, this is the assignment, yeah. Prove that square root 3 is irrational. What again? What is another assignment? What is that? Yeah? That's number 1. Okay, irrational. And then one more. Oh, proof by the mathematical induction, yeah. Yeah, but I think I will skip that. Okay? It's not hard, yeah. Okay. Can we move to the next question? This one, right? Prove that square root 3 is irrational. How to prove this? Use the proof by contradiction. Okay, another sum that you can prove, or for your exercise, yeah. Yeah, this one for your exercise. Similar with this, but now prove that or show that you can try this, so that the sigma I1 until n of I cubic, which is 1 cubic plus 2 cubic plus 3 cubic and so on until n cubic equal to n plus 1 over 2 squared. Yeah, this one also appear in calculus 2, yeah. So you can start with the collapsing sum, yeah. Hint, use collapsing sum sigma I1 until n of I plus 1 power 4 minus I power 4 equal to n plus 1 power 4 minus n power 4. Sorry, I 1 power 4, ya. Or 1 power 4 is 1. So another hint is a plus b power 4 is what? A power 4 plus 4 ab a3 plus 6 ab a square b square plus 4 a b cubic plus b power 4. Quite long, yeah, but yeah, you can try, okay, as the example given or the exercise or assignment given. Okay, so go back to the assignment, yeah. Okay, we start with assumption, okay, similar with square root 2, okay, like we did before. Assume that there is rational number let's say yeah, such there is rational number, okay, then we can write satisfied, yeah, satisfied. That is can express square root 3. Okay. Then we can write what? Square root 3 as P over Q, ya, where P and Q belong to integer Z, ya. Of course in here Q not 0. And greatest common divisor of P and Q equal 1. It means P and Q are relative prime. Okay. Okay, what next? What next? Okay, you can square both sides. Okay. Yeah, square both sides. Then what you get? 3 equal P square over Q square. And then from here, you get multiply both sides with Q square, you get P square equal 3Q square. Okay? What does it mean? What does it mean? It means P square divisible by 3, right? Okay? So, because P square equal 3Q square, then P square is divisible by 3, yeah, because it's multiple of 3. At least 3, 6, what again? 9, 12, and so on. Okay? So what is the general form of divisible by 3? Yeah, again, if P square divisible by 3, then P also divisible by 3. But this one must be proved. Yeah, previously P square divisible by 2, right? It means P also divisible by 2. Is it correct statement? What do you think? What do you think? So this one must think, yeah, guys, not routine like from A to B and then you can memorize the step. No, you must think. Is it true? Is this statement true? Think. And if not true, can you give example? Yeah, can you give example that what is called reject or make this statement wrong? Yeah, what is that? What do you think? Okay, you can check, is it true? If P square divisible by 3, then P also divisible by 3. Of course, P square couldn't be 3, yeah? Yeah, is it, if it is square 3, square root 3 not divisible by 3, yeah? Of course, in here, must be integer, okay? Because If p square 3, square root of 3. So, okay, let's say you choose, okay, let's say I will choose p square equal 3. Yeah. Then, okay, 3 divisible by 3, right? And then, what is p? P is square root 3. But square root 3 not divisible by 3. Do you think this is wrong? This statement is wrong. But, remember again, what is p? P must be z or integer. Then, by choosing p square 3, it will violate the rule that p must be integer. So you cannot choose p square 3, right? Okay? Then change another number, yeah? So the possible number is 9 because p will be 3. Yeah? So it's not violate this statement. Yeah, so actually this statement is true. Okay? I will leave that for you to prove. Yeah, prove that if p square divisible by 3 and then p also divisible by 3. By using the contrapositive, yeah. That is what you should prove. Yeah, the negation is not q. That is not if p not divisible by 3, then p square also not divisible by 3. Okay, what is mean by divisible? I want to ask, what is mean by divisible? If I say that 6 divisible by 2, what is mean? In bahasa it habis dibagi, ya. It's finish. There's no reminder. What is mean by 6 divisible by 2? It means I can write 6 as 2 times 3, right? It's divisible. There is a number 3 in here such that I can express 6 as 2 times 3. Okay? So what is mean by 10 divisible by 5? I can find number 2 such that 10 can be written as 5 times 2. That is divisible. Right? What about not divisible? Not divisible. I cannot find another number, or there is a reminder. For example, 6 is not divisible by 4. What does it mean? It means I cannot find any number that multiply with 4 equal 6. I mean integer, ya. I cannot find integer, not rational, ya, not decimal, not fraction. I cannot find integer such that 4 times that number, that integer, is 6. So, I can only write 6 as 4 times what? 1 plus 2. So, 2, this one is called reminder. Yeah, reminder. Modulo, yeah. Modulo. Another name is modulo, but I will not go that way, yeah. It will make you confused. That's you already know modulo, right? No? Okay, just skip. That is reminder, yeah. In Python, there is operation to find the modulo. Okay, so that is called reminder. So it means 6 is not divisible by 4. So if p not divisible by 3, what does it mean? It means, yeah. So it means there is a reminder, right? So I can write, okay, I will erase this one. Okay, I think I need to give you more hints about this, yeah. So if P not divisible by 3, it means I can write P as, okay, to prove this, ya. Proof. P not divisible by 3 means that I can write P as 3 times K. K is any integer. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. But, yeah, plus 1. Okay. So, whatever K in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, if plus 1, it means the remainder is 1. Right? Okay, what next? P equal 3K plus, what about plus 2? Is it? 2 also remainder, right? Is there any other remainder that possible? Okay, 4. What about 4? If 3, you cannot, I mean, if I write like this, 3K plus 3, it means it can be written as K plus 1. K plus 1 is this one again, right? So it can be, it's divisible then. So you don't put 3 in here. Right? What about 4? Okay, I can write 4 like this. 3K plus 3 plus 1. Okay? And this can be written as 3K plus 1 plus 1. And this one is K again, right? Similar with this. So it's redundant, right? Okay? So skip this one. What about 5? What about 5? What about 5? P equal to 3K plus 5. So 5 can be written 3K plus 3 plus 2. This one can be written 3K plus 1 plus, same with this guy. Oh. Right? What about 6? Yeah, 6 divisible. Yeah. 3K plus 6 divisible by 3. Then don't choose that. Okay, so there are only 2 possibility. Yeah, if P not divisible by, if it not divisible by 3, means that I can express P as 3K plus 1 or P as 3K plus 2. Okay, what next? Check P square. Check P square. Now consider. So you agree with this now? Understand until here? Why I can write P 3K plus 1 and P 3K plus 2? Yes? Yeah, because if P not divisible by 3, the remainder, the possible remainder is 1 or 2. Yeah? There is no other remainder. Whatever it is. Pick any number. So, okay, you can pick any number. What number that is not divisible by 3? 19. What is the remainder? 19 divided by 3, what is the remainder? 1. 17. What is the remainder? 2. Any number pick. The remainder always 1 or 2, right? Any number. 100. Because 100 is 99. 3 times 33 plus 1. The remainder is 1. So any number that you can think of that cannot be divided by 3, always the remainder always 1 or 2. Right? So I can always write like this. Okay? Agree with this? And any question or still confused? Okay, next. What about P square? You must show that P square of 3K plus 1 and 3K plus 2 also not divisible by 3. It means the remainder also 1 or 2. Okay, check P square. Now, consider P square. Okay. If case 1, yeah. If, okay, we'll write case 1 here. Because we have 2 possibility. If P equal to 3K, yeah, 3K plus 1, then what you get? P square equal 3k plus 1 squared. That is 9k square plus 6k plus 1, right? And then you can simplify this. 3k square, sorry, 3k ya. 3k square plus 2k plus 1. But this one is another integer ya. This one is another integer. Right? Let's say bk or k like this to make it different. Or equal to 3k plus 1. Ya. The remainder is 1. Ya. The remainder is 1. So, p square not divisible by 3. Okay, case 2, try. What about case 2? If p 3k plus 2, what you get? Then, can you do that? What is p square? P square is what? 3k plus 2 power 2. What is that? 9k square plus 12k plus 4. And then simplify this term. 3k square plus 4k plus, okay, forget ya. This one can be written as plus 3 plus 1, okay? Plus 1 plus 1, right? Okay, I think I will make it one step. This one can be written as 9k square plus 12k plus 3 plus 1, right? So I can write this as 3k square plus 4k plus 1 plus 1. But this one is another integer, right? So 3k again, another integer with different number. I assume it's different k with this k, yeah? Plus 1. Again, the remainder is 1. So, p square not divisible by 3. Okay, it's proof this statement, yeah? If p square divisible by 3, then p also divisible by 3. To prove this, use the contrapositive. That is, not, if p not divisible by 3, then p square also not divisible by 3. Okay, after this, you get the statement p square divisible by 3. Then, p also divisible by 3. Yeah? Okay? So, if p divisible by 3, I can write p as what? So, if p divisible by 3, okay, so if p divisible by 3, the opposite of the previous, what is that? Then, I can write p as 3k, right? Because everything repeated, yeah? 3k plus 3, yeah, 3k again, right? You can always make it 3k because 3 times k plus 1. K plus 1 is another integer, right? 3k plus 6, yeah, just 3 times k plus 2, another integer, k plus 2, and so on. So, in general, I can write p as 3k. Okay? What next? Now, substitute here. Substitute here. Right? If p equal 3k, what again? Yeah, substitute. Now, substitute P equal 3K to P square equal 3Q square. Then we have what? 3K square equal 3Q square. Then from here you get 9K square equal 3Q square. And then Q square equal 9K square. This is Q ya. Equal divide by 3 equal Q square equal 3K square. What does it mean? Then Q square divisible by 3 because I can write Q square as 3K square. Okay? And also Q divisible by 3 by the previous theorem statement ya that we already proved before. So look at this. Which one is a contradiction? Look at this. We assume that P and Q are relative prime. It means both of them cannot be divisible by 3. If both of them divisible by 3, then P and Q are not relative prime. For example, if P 6, Q 12, yeah, 6 and 12 are not relative prime. It's because both of them can divisible by 3. So it contradictive with the statement that P and Q relative prime. Yeah, because P also divisible by 3. You get it, the contradictive? You said that, yeah, or we assume that P and Q must be relative prime. Okay? And then we prove that, we get the fact that P divisible by 3. And then, assuming again P divisible by 3, substitute, we get another fact that Q also divisible by 3. It means contradictive, yeah, with the previous statement. Okay? It's by the fact that P divisible by 3 and Q also divisible by 3, it is contradictive with the assumption that P and Q are relative prime. Okay? So it's complete the proof. Yeah. Then square root the conclusion, square root 3 cannot is irrational number. So now we'll continue with the algebraic property of real number. Okay? So what is real number or the set of real number? So we start with the property or what is called by field axiom. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So if in mathematics, if we talk about a set, yeah. So we identify the property that apply in that set. It's like we try to analyze. Yeah, it's like we are step into a new planet. Yeah, And then we compare with the planet that we know, right? For example, if you step into a new planet like Mars, so what first that you can analyze? Okay, let's say you check the gravity, right? You check the temperature, you check the season, for example, and so on. Yeah, you check the hours, how many hours into dark. Yeah, is it same like Earth? Yeah, like how many hours in one day? Yeah, probably in Mars it could be different. One day could be more than 24 hours, probably, or less than 24 hours, right? So those are the property that we identify, same like the set, yeah. So we start with the property. So there are addition property, yeah. So the set of real number is equipped with two operation, that is addition operation and multiplication. So I can revise this using cross, yeah, like this, or to make it simple, only dot, yeah. So in here, don't assume something that you know before, yeah. It could be different. For example, addition in factor different with addition with the number that you have before, right? So in factor, the rule are different. Multiplication in factor also different, yeah. In factor, there is multiplication dot product and cross product, right? Okay, just read first, yeah, and then try to analyze. This operation satisfies with the following property. So at least it's this one is similar. First, if you add two real number, a plus b equal with b plus a. So this one axiom, yeah, or the property that already exists in this set. So you cannot ask them why. Yeah, it's like you are step into Mars and the gravity of Mars is smaller than Earth. Yeah, it's like given. You cannot ask why the gravity of Mars is smaller than Earth. Yeah, you cannot ask that. That one is axiom. Yeah, same like this. Second, this one is called commutative property. Yeah, commutative, commutative, right? Like you get into the train, commuter. Why the name is commuter? Because it's go back and forth, yeah. Yeah, commute. A plus B equal B plus A. You go to Jakarta, Jakarta to Cikarang, Cikarang to Jakarta. It's commute, yeah. Commutative. The second, A plus, if you add two number, A plus B, and then add another number, it's equal with A plus B plus C. It's called associative, yeah. Associative rule. Okay? I will give all of them, yeah. This one commutative, and then associative. Okay, there exists zero element, or this one is called unity element, yeah, such that 0 plus a equal a plus 0 equal a, yeah. So this one is a unity element, or identity. Sorry, identity. Okay, we'll write it as identity element, yeah, because everything add with 0 is themselves, yeah. So identity element. And this one is for each real number a, there exists minus a, such that a plus a minus a equals 0 and minus a plus a also equals 0. This one is called inverse, additional inverse, yeah. Inverse under addition operation. Yeah, identity element, or another name is unity element. under addition operation, yeah. So probably you think this one is obvious, right? Obvious, right? Do you think it's obvious? You know what is obvious? Obvious, jelas, obvious, yeah. Okay, obviously, right? Like if you touch the fire, obviously it's hot, right? It's obvious. If you touch the fire, it's hot. It's obvious. If you touch the ice, it's cold. Obvious. Yeah. So yes, it's obvious, but of course, it's not always true for different set. Yeah. For example, you in linear algebra later, yeah, you will see that 0 is not always the identity element. Yeah. Because, for example, if we talk about the set of matrix, 0 is not the identity element. Yeah, you need to find that. And minus is not the identity element of the matrix. So you will see those kind of different property in course linear algebra, yeah, because you are dealing with vector, yeah, vector space, yeah. But this one we focus on real number. Okay, so this one clear, ya, or obvious, ya. Commutative, associative, identity element, and then inverse under addition operation. Okay, next. Continue to the multiplication operation and distribution, distributive operation. This one multiplication, ya, A plus B, A time B equal to B time A. The same, commutative property under multiplication operation. This one, associative property under multiplication. Okay. The third one, same. This one is the identity or unity element under multiplication, because 1 plus A equal A plus 1 equal themselves for every real number. Yeah. Okay. Including 0. This one is identity element. Under multiplication. Number 4 is inverse, yeah. For all real number except 0. 0 doesn't have inverse, yeah. For all real number except 0, there exists the element 1 over A, or the inverse element, such that A times 1 over A equal to 1 over A times A equal 1. Yeah, so this one is inverse. Yeah, inverse. And the last one, D, is the distributive combination between the multiplication and the addition. A times B plus C equal to A times B plus A times C. Okay, and the same for B plus C times A equal to B times A plus C times A. Okay, yeah, actually this is the multiplication that you already know, yeah, A times B, like the rainbow multiplication, yeah. Rainbow multiplication. That is called distributive, yeah. Distributive property. Distributive property. So you see number 1. Yeah, it's obvious, sir. I already know that, yeah. It's not new. Okay, be careful. It's not all the set have the commutative property. For example, the set of matrix. If I have matrix, let's say 1, 2, 0, 1, and the matrix 1, 1, 2, 1, let's say this is A, this is B. Is it true that A times B equal with B times A? No. Yeah, in matrix, commutative does not apply. Yeah, in matrix, commutative law is not applied because A times B different with B time A, and it's apply for all matrix. Yeah, if you see that if you can find two matrix when the multiplication is equal, it means AB time BA equal. It's only rare, yeah. It's only for several case, not for all. Yeah, not for all. Yeah, it's not general. Only special case. But if you in general, yeah, in matrix, AB not equal to BA. So commutative does not apply. And if commutative does not apply, of course, distributive, associative also not apply in matrix. Okay? And the inverse, is all the matrix have inverse? No. What is the requirement so that the matrix have inverse? Transform? What is mean by transform? What is that? Not transform. First, the matrix must be square matrix. 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, and so on. That's one. So the matrix that is not square cannot be inverted. You cannot find the inverse of the matrix that is not square. Yeah. The second is what? Determinant. Yeah. Determinant must not zero. So in linear algebra, you will learn how to find the inverse of matrix later. Yeah. Yeah, if matrix is 2 by 2, easy, right? Like A, B, C, D. The determinant is, determinant A, let's say, only AD minus BC. Determinant of A, yeah. AD minus BC. What about 3 by 3? That's the challenge, yeah. 4 by 4. 5 by 5. Yeah, it will be learned in linear algebra. Yeah, later. So linear algebra, the content of linear algebra is matrix, guys. Matrix, simple linear, SPL, ya. SPL is system of, SPL in bahasa sistem persamaan linear, ya. Okay, so that is real number. In real number is special, ya. Commutative, associative, identity element, inverse, and distributive property. Okay, any question? If no, we continue to the property of real number. Okay, so there are how many axiom here? 4 axiom of addition, 4 axiom of multiplication, and 1 axiom of distribution. Total 9, yeah. And then actually there are another 2, yeah. It's called closeness. It means if you add 2 real number, the result or the addition also belong to real number, yeah. Again, this one, if you multiply 2 real number, the result of 2 real number also real number. Yeah, that is the closed property. But that thing is obvious, yeah, or assumed to be true for all the set. I mean for real number, not all the set. Okay, now we continue with the theorem. Yeah, theorem 1, canceling law. So what you can use is only all the axiom here to prove this statement. The theorem 1, if A plus B equal B plus C with A, B, C belong to real number, then wait, let me check. Is there any mistake here? C, yeah, my mistake. It's not B. This is one C. I will revise that. If A plus C equal B plus C, then A equal B. And then the second one, if AC equal BC, multiplication, yeah, with A, B, C belong to real number and C is not 0, then A equal B. Okay, how to prove this? Okay, so this is the theorem, yeah, or the statement that we should prove. Theorem 1. Number 1. If A plus C equal to B plus C for all A, B, C belong to real number, then A must be equal to B. How to prove this? So you start with this, yeah. You start with this. Consider A plus C equal B plus C. Okay, what you can do is to apply the axiom. Yeah. Look at this. Which one that you should use so that you can arrive to A equal B? Okay, by the axiom number 4, for every real number A, whatever the real number, they'll always exist the negative element, yeah. So by axiom number 4, yeah, for all C belong to real number, there exists minus C belong to real number, such that C plus minus C equal to minus C plus C equal 0. So that is the A4, right? Now apply here. So I can add, yeah, because there is C, and then I can put minus C in here, yeah, because there always exists, right? A plus C plus minus C equal A, B, yeah, B plus C plus minus C, yeah, because axiom number 4, okay? So what does it mean? Again, by axiom number 4, C plus minus C is 0. This one, A plus 0 equal. Is it finished? Is it finished yet? So what is A plus 0? By axiom number what? Number 3, right? Any real number, 0 plus any real number, or any real number plus 0 equal that number itself. So by axiom number 3, A plus 0 is A, B plus 0 is B. We have A equal B. It proves B. Can you do the same for the second? If number 2, yeah. Number 2, if AC equal BC with A, B, C belong to real number, then A equal B. Okay, how to prove that? Of course, this one use the axiom multiplication, yeah. According to or by M what? M4. That is M4 M or M3, M4, yeah. By M4 there exists proof. or according. Yeah, consider AC equal BC according to M4. According to M4, there exists 1 over C such that C times 1 over C or 1 over C times C equal 1. Okay? Now apply there. So, A times C times 1 over C equal B times C times 1 over C. So we get this, equal A times 1, B times 1. Again, according to M3, according to M3, we have A equal B because A times 1 is A, B times 1 is B. So it's complete the proof. So you only can use the axiom, and the theorem that already proved before. If the theorem is not proven yet, like previously we see there is P square, P square divisible by 3. Then P also divisible by 3. The theorem is not proven yet. That's why we prove first. And then after we prove that, we can use that. Okay? That's the steps. Unless you don't have to do it, unless there is a statement that you can use. But if there is no statement that you can use that, you must prove. Any question? That is M4. According to M4, for all, for all C belong to real number, there exists inverse element. Such that, so I multiply C with 1 over C. Yes. 1 over C times C. The right one? Multiply. C times 1 over C or 1 over C times C. The commutative. Okay, now what about this? If A belong to real number, negative of negative A equal to A. And inverse of inverse of A is A itself. Okay, try to prove that. Okay, to recall, this one is called canceling law because if you see AC equal BC, you can cancel C, if AC equal BC, you can cancel C. If A plus C equal B plus C, you can cancel C. That is the canceling law. And your tools is this one, not this one. Minus of minus real number is that real number, So A can be negative, can be positive, any real number. If A is negative, then it's still negative, like minus. Let's say A minus 5. So you can put minus of minus 5 is minus 5. Okay. Minus 5, right? Same, it's A. If A positive, let's say 7. Minus of minus 7 is 7. Positive. 0, of course, obviously 0 is 0, There's no negative 0. Okay, now how to prove this? How to prove this? Use the, okay, let's prove number 1, yeah. Proof number 1. According to M, not M, addition, yeah. According to A4, look at this. For all real number, there exists the negative element such that A plus minus A equal 0, ya. Okay. According or by A4, for all A belong to real number, there exists minus A also belong to real number such that A plus minus A equal 0. Okay, now because, so I want to arrive here, yeah. So because minus A also belong to real number, okay, I can replace A with minus A. I mean, it's just the replacement doesn't change the result, yeah. So we have, so replace this. A become minus A plus minus of A become minus A. Yeah, it does not replace the result, only change the expression. Yeah, only change the expression, right? Same result. So look at this. Yeah, if you apply this, but you cannot apply this yet. Yeah, but let's say you already know this. It's still A in A time minus A, right? Oh, sorry, A plus minus A, still 0. Yeah, but change expression. Okay, what next? And then add both sides with, so I want to make there is A in here, yeah, because I want to prove that minus of minus A is A. So add both sides with A. What you get? Minus A plus minus of minus A plus A equal 0 plus A, right? Okay, now look at this. Now you can simplify by the associative rule. By A4, oh sorry, associative number 2, yeah. By A2, we have what? I can move this one with this, yeah, or combine A plus minus A plus minus of minus A. And then 0 plus A is A. By what? By N A. A what? Let's see. A plus 0 is A. A3, yeah? By A3. And by A2 and A3, we have this one and this one. Okay? We have this. And by A4, we have minus A plus A is 0. 0 plus minus of minus A equal A. And by A3 again, 0 plus minus of minus A is minus of minus A. By A3, yeah, A3. We have this and this one. So it's complete the proof, yeah. So that's how you construct. So it's required, it's need the idea of how to prove that. Okay, that's the challenge. Yeah, that's the challenge. Yeah, number two, I will leave number two for you. Yeah, I will leave number two for you, yeah, for your exercise. Use M. No, use M or the multiplication. It can be M2, M3, M4. Yeah, it's just repeated in that part, yeah. So think. Okay? That's theorem 2. Continue to one more. Yeah, look at this. Number 3, is it obvious? Any real number times 0 is 0. Yes, but actually this is, you should prove this, yeah. Not yeah, from elementary school it already exists, yeah. But previously it's like you are given. Previously in high school or elementary school, it's like given. You don't think, just given, like your parent. Oh, this is your food, this is your clothes, this is your shoes. But now you are going to adult, yeah, become more mature. Your parents cannot provide you anymore. You must find it yourself. Now your parents support you, give you money, right? Without knowing where this money came from, right? But at some time later in the future, you must find your own money, right? Yeah, your parents cannot give you money anymore. Same like in high school. In high school or in the elementary school, the teacher just give you, use this for free, yeah, without knowing where it came from. But because now you are more mature, to make you become adult, yeah, or mature in thinking, yeah, you must use your thinking skill. Same. Yeah, later in the future you must work. You must make your own money, yeah. Your parent cannot support you anymore. Same in here. Same, yeah. It's not far, guys. It's I think it's 5 years from now, right? 3 or 5 years from now. Okay, how to start? A times 0 is 0. Yes, yeah. How to prove this? How to prove this? Okay, look at this. Yeah, we prove number for number 2 similar, yeah. Number 2 similar. Okay. So we want to prove A times 0 is 0. Proof number 1. Okay, so we start with the fact that 0 plus 0 is 0, yeah. It's 0 plus 0 is 0. It's empty or nothing, no number, right? Okay, now by theorem 1, cancellation. Okay, by theorem 1 or by cancellation property, we can multiply both sides with A. Yeah, multiply both sides with A. What is that? A times 0 plus 0 equal A times 0. Okay? And then, what again? Using the distributive law by D property, yeah, D property. What is that? A times 0 plus A times 0 equal to A times 0. Okay? So what next? Yeah, what next? Is it what next? You want to prove this? A times 0 is 0. But there is another way, yeah. It's not the only way. You can think of that. But you do not know subtraction yet. Okay. There is no subtraction yet. What you only know is the axiom. Subtraction not discussed yet. After next week. Yeah, like that, same. You are put in the jungle. You need to provide your necessity. Yeah. There's no privilege. No privilege. Yeah. It makes you clever. Yeah, there's no privilege. In reality, there is privilege, right? Like your parents give you like starting point, yeah. But now same, all of you same, have the same starting point. Yeah. Axiom 3, what is that? 0. Which one that you use? 0. 0 plus A equal to A. Which one? By axiom, by A3, we have A times 0 plus 0 is A times 0, right? I can write it like that. So, A plus 0 plus, sorry, A times 0 plus A times 0 equal A times 0 plus 0. Right? Look at this. By axiom 3, I can write A times 0 plus 0 is A times 0, right? So A times 0 in here, I can write this as A times 0 plus 0. Okay? Okay? Or I can write this as A times 0 plus A times 0 equal 0 plus A times 0. And then, again, by cancellation. That is theorem 1. Law. Theorem 1. Remember? Theorem 1 says that A plus C equal, if A plus C equal B plus C, then A equal B, right? Look at this. This is A, C, A, C. Treat this one is A, C, A, C. So cancel this, right? You have A times 0 equal 0. It's proof. Wait, sir. Does this will be included in the quiz? Yes, of course, yeah. You use the axiom, yeah. Real number axiom, A1 until A4, M1 until M4, and no cheat sheets. No cheat sheets. Yeah, only the axiom is obvious, yeah. Which one you? Which one? That huh? Write the axiom. Yeah, memorize the axiom. It's all. Gak bisa. Kok gak bisa? How can only only 9 row? How can not? And all of them already obvious, yeah, nothing new.
Yes, that's the thing. It's so obvious. Like we forgot the order, right? Like
Yeah,
there's
just
an order.
A1, A2, yes, same similar. A1 is commutative, A2 is associative, A3 is identity.
But in the
Yeah, you have 1 week.
we have to use
1 week,
according
7 times 24 hours.
do we have to write according to, for example, M3?
Yes, you should write like that according to what? A4, A3. The one? This one. Okay, number this one. This is the last one.